Welcome to What in the Wedding, a wedding planning podcast where we help you expect the expected.
That's right. We said expect the expected because while you probably don't attend a lot of weddings,
We do.
so sit back, relax, and listen while we chat all things weddings. Enjoy.
Hey everyone, we are back. I have my Valentine's Day shirt on here and my
Aw, you're
nails. I'm
so
feeling it. I'm
cute. You're
feeling it
feeling it
this
right
week.
now. You are.
We are
I like
back
it.
and we had a request, and I'm going to shout him out live as
Ooh.
we're discussing.
Yes.
Hotel Brad, our friend Hotel Brad DeGen Kolb, I believe is how you pronounce his name,
Yes.
wants to come back if we ever need him. But also, he said that he listens to podcasts when he falls asleep, which is wild because I
Whoa.
don't know how anyone.
We love
So
that.
sometimes he falls asleep to us, and he basically said we need to get back on task. That we
He
need
said
news
we're-
stories.
Oh, he
That's
wants
not what
he wants us.
said, but
He said we need to like find uniform again is what
and
we're doing.
structure. I think
Structure.
So if you need a room block or a hotel, we're going to shout out to Holiday Inn Steubenville. We're in Hotel Brad is what I call him.
He's
We're
our
going to get
sponsorship.
back to our give us the money. We're going to get back to our regular scheduled program. And so today we are going to discuss a trend Ashley has noticed with venues. And I also wanted to touch a little bit gently, carefully on AI in the wedding industry. But news story, because we're back on track. Did you watch the
Structure.
Super Bowl last night?
I did not. And it wasn't
Okay.
because of anything crazy. I just literally didn't have time to watch the Super Bowl. I was actually really busy yesterday.
So you don't know that someone got married live during the halftime show?
I do know that. I
Okay.
actually have it
Okay.
pinned that I want to watch it on YouTube while the baby is napping. So I
Well,
can
there's
see it.
not much to see. They only show the couple for like 10 seconds.
They actually
they
didn't
were
show
like-
them getting married.
No, like they were holding hands, and you could tell that, like, you had a bride and groom, and you could tell that they were holding hands and they were getting married. And he said, "You may now kiss the bride." And then they kissed. And then later on, you saw them dancing, which was really sweet. But you didn't see a whole lot of it. So don't expect like a wedding when you watch
Talk
it.
about the experience. Like we were laughing at that word, but
Yeah.
like literally that's where we're
Yeah.
headed. So go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's where I was going with this, is that in my wedding photographer brain, I'm like, oh my God, where's the photographer? They're having a wedding at the Super Bowl, but they're not going to have any pictures. And then, as I always do, I had to rein myself in and be like, Hannah, wedding photos are not everyone's priority.
Truth.
And that this is a once in a lifetime experience that
For them,
hardly
yeah.
anyone can say that they got married live during a Super Bowl halftime show.
Exactly. I wonder why and how this came about. I really need to do
Yes.
some research on this.
I should have done more research, because I wonder that as well. Like, do you want to get married in the Super Bowl halftime? Sure. there had to have been reasoning behind it, but I thought it was super cool. And I think it's important for all of us vendors, because I think that, everyone gets so stuck on, well, why don't people want to spend the money? Well, everyone has different priorities.
It's true. Everyone, and now I'm seeing it so frequently. Like the priority shift is big, and boundaries, and like people are all about like what they really want, and they really think about what they want, which is awesome.
Yes. And wedding photos are not always the priority, which I'm seeing a huge split. You and I have talked about it off air right now. There's no in between on budget for photographers. It seems like everyone's at one end or the other. So I can only imagine the headache that couples are having right now. And I don't know how we're going to like get everyone back together on a wavelength to make it more manageable financially.
I know. I feel like I opened my business shortly after the first, well, I shouldn't say the first recession, but a recession, which was like in the 2000s. What was that? 2007 to like 2000.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it
8 to
lasted for a
9.
couple of years.
Yeah, because I got married and we bought and sold. Wait, no, that might be bad math. Yeah, it was around when I got married, because I was trying to get a job in like the literal, when I was a nurse, middle of a recession. So somewhere time around there. I think it was 8.
Right. And I graduated in 9 when it was still happening. Wow, hi everyone. We're old.
Don't tell people how old we are. No, I don't mind. I
don't care either. Yeah, not at all.
Speaking
I
of
could care
that,
less.
speaking
But
of that,
that's why we're seeing this now. Yes, it's a similar situation.
I refused. I remember 10 years ago when I was a newer photographer, and there were older photographers that were so bent out of shape about digital cameras and the new Photoshop abilities. And and they were refusing to change. And I've always said that I refuse to be the older vendor, which we're in our 30s, everyone. We're not too old, but I refuse to be the old vendor that refuses to change and to morph and evolve. So today I actually did some research on some Gen Z slang and how they use emojis and stuff. You especially show your millennial when you text.
Do I really?
Because you do like the LOL.
Oh, yeah. Exclamation points. Yeah.
They don't like the laughing emoji.
Ooh, that's weird.
Do you know that a thumbs up is considered offensive?
Ooh. Why heart everything?
Well, they said that's a millennial thing, that we overuse emojis because we feel like we need to like double, triple check that people know, like, just kidding, or love that.
Yeah,
or,
like we're worried we're offending somebody.
Yeah, we like overcompensate. So I was doing research today to make sure that like all my pamphlets, all my emails, I'm not trying to be Gen Z, but I want to make sure that I don't look like an old lady, because who wants to hire an old lady to photograph their wedding?
Which is so funny because a lot of my Gen Z clients are just as much as LOLing in my text. Just
Maybe
like,
they're elder Gen Zs.
true. Right. Where they're like on the cusp of millennial and Gen Z.
Yeah.
I do have some very young couples, which I love. I'm like so excited for. There's definitely a trend in getting married young again.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
I'm so excited about that. I think that's so fun. But yes, no, I need to look into that because I just definitely don't even pay attention to those things.
Yeah, there's certain emojis they use a lot that like mean different things than what we're used to. So I wanted to make sure that all of my stuff was up to date and that nothing seemed offensive or nothing could be taken out of context, because I am going to learn and grow. Yes, I am. And speaking of learning and growing, I have a wedding win or what? All right. So, as you know, because I've been texting you for the last month and a half, I am taking a website course.
I love it.
To update my website, to get it, if I'm being honest, I still have stuff from 2018 on there. And my instructor was like, you have to let go.
Let it go.
Exactly. But I love those weddings and I love those couples. And she was like, nope, everything is outdated. Dresses are doing a different trend. Drink here.
It's true. You can definitely tell how old an album is from the dresses. It just is. That's because fashion is ever changing. Yes.
The flower trends, like everything, is
trends.
shifting and changing, and the centerpieces and whatnot. So you have to keep things up to date. So again, you don't look like dated. So in this course, they teach you, how to properly word your website and all this stuff to make sure you pop up on Google. It tells you, how to find a focus keyword, all the things. So imagine my surprise when I'm doing the back end research about where I rank in all these things, and I find a website that AI generates reviews about you. And I'm not going to name them because I don't want anyone to go there, but please know I've been in contact with them and I'm not happy. And I didn't look yours up because I was like, I don't want to open that can of worms. So
Wait, tell me this. What is happening? Yes.
Their website will basically use AI to scrub and go through your reviews and create a full summary. Great, right?
Right.
So it starts out with advantages, and it says Hannah Barlow Photography LLC is praised for its breathtaking photos and the ability to create a comfortable atmosphere for clients. That's true. The brand's professional and friendly approach enhances the overall wedding experience with capturing unique, candid moments. Love it.
That's great. All true things.
So then we get to what they call the defects.
So this is the negativity. This is where you were like, excuse me?
Yeah. Ready? Are you ready?
I'm nervous. These robots.
Some clients noted challenges with coordinating large group photos during busy moments of a wedding. A few reviews mentioned concerns about timing, particularly regarding managing schedules on a wedding day.
Wait a minute. Do you actually have reviews that say this? Or is this just made up?
No. So let me be clear to anyone that knows me, to anyone who reads my reviews.
I was like, that's your strength. That's your strength.
What happened is because this is AI, all the times that my clients mentioned, my wedding day ran behind. My timeline ran behind, but Hannah caught it up. We were running behind, but Hannah caught it up. Family formals could have been a disaster, but Hannah took care of it. It took the beginning parts of all of those sentences, and the AI bot made it a negative. And I am big mad about it, as you can imagine, because the things that they're saying
Yeah.
on here that I'm not good at are literally the things that people hire me for, because I
Yeah.
do keep the day. I've never been late for
Yes.
anything, ever.
Yes. And let's preface this that every wedding day runs late. Like literally all of them. What is the determining factors if your vendors can then get it back on track,
Correct. Correct.
which you're great at. Yeah, which you're great
Yeah.
at. So I have a
Yeah.
lot that don't care. They just are like, whatever will be what will be. But
Right.
like you take pride in that you get
Yeah.
everything back on track.
Without like missing anything. Like, I'm not going to be
Right.
like, oh, well, we don't get
We're
those
taking
photos
something out.
now.
Yeah.
No, we'll figure it out. I have put people in my car and said, let's get ahead of your party bus so that we'll have 5-10 extra minutes to take couple portraits. Bridal party will arrive.
Right.
If you had been on the bus, if they're like, no, I
So
want to go spend time
strange.
on the
Now I want
bus.
to look at this.
Yeah. So I emailed them. And I sent a very
Wait, but
like,
who is this? It's just like a
I'll tell you afterwards. I don't want people,
okay,
I don't want everyone going there and looking at it and driving traffic to this site, because then it'll pop up farther. Right now, it's still buried on page 3.
good. We love this. Bury them. Okay.
So I emailed them, and they were very nice at first. And they were like, oh, we realize that there's a problem with the defects, and we are like actively working to have them removed. And I said, perfect. At like, what's the timeline that I can expect that to be removed? Because what you have is literally the opposite.
Hannah Porlo, what's the timeline of this? What's the ETA? What's the ETA that can expect this to be gone? Anyways, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I can't. So that's just that was my little like segue into the
Won't for
powers of
sure.
AI. And I'm not going to go, I know all about the environment, and I know like all the impacts of it. However, people are still using it.
Right.
There's
sure.
nothing we can do about that except for to make people aware. So I don't want anyone watching or listening to think like I stand on one side or another. But that's a way that AI can really hurt a business. So make sure you're reading the actual reviews on their site and the actual reviews on Google, not the Google AI overview, because it actually just happened to a groom of mine. He owns a construction company. And so I follow his construction company, small business supporting small business. And he made a post in December because his business name is very similar to another business name,
Oh,
like
that's
out
tough.
west.
Yeah, that's
And
tough.
that business has been in trouble for multiple things. So when you Google his business name locally, the AI overview that now pops up on Google, like it's the first thing you see at the top, warns people about hiring his business.
That's
And
wild.
it's not his business, but Google is
Right.
crawling, and the AI bots are crawling these websites, and they're picking the little pieces out and
This is
creating
scary.
things that are not factual.
Right. We just don't love that because it is supposed to be efficient and anything that would track like it's your
Yeah.
business. I get why this is happening, but it's not good. And
No. So always make sure you're going to the source for reviews, not the AI overviews.
yes. The world we have
Yeah.
to navigate now. I mean, it is
I
going
know.
to ever change. My
Yeah.
husband, this is a funny. So when we were visiting Orlando, which you all know, I worked at Disney and did Disney things. I was like, this used to be this over there, and that wasn't even a thing. There's a billion restaurants there now, and that just was land. And my husband's like, back in my day, and I was like, you're so rude. I'm like, I can't help it that I'm nostalgic right now. And
Yeah.
I just want to dream of what was. I'm
Yeah.
such a, you know me, like I
Yeah.
love progression and moving forward and new things.
Yeah.
But like it is true. Sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, just the world is just moving
Yeah.
so fast now.
Yeah. It is.
Society is moving so fast now that I'm like, I don't know what's happening. And I don't think anybody else does. That's why our
Right.
brains are like mushy and
Right.
we're all fatigued by life in general now.
And it's so funny how fast we can shift opinions, especially with how fast I feel like AI came at us. Because when
Yes.
we started this podcast, I guarantee I could pull multiple clips where I was like, we should not be overly photoshopping people. We should not like be doing things to people's bodies. And now with the age of filters and all this kind of stuff, I am kind of crossing over to If your photographer's refusing to smooth your skin upon request, I don't ever retouch or smooth or do anything to anyone unless they specifically request it.
Right.
But if you ask your photographer to fix windy hair or smooth skin or get the wrinkles out of a suit, which 3 years ago, if someone asked me to get wrinkles out of a suit because they put it in their suitcase for a week, it would have been an extra charge because it's a lot of work. Today, the AI software that photography has that we can use is so cheap right now. Again, a couple years, I'll probably change my mind.
Right.
But easy to use. You don't even have to know how to use it. You just put the photo in it, you tell it what to do, and it does it.
That's
So
amazing.
I do that stuff now because it takes all but 30 seconds. It's like 30 seconds of my life gone, where before it was hours and hours of
Right.
fine tuning Photoshop work. So I'm kind of changing my ways, Ashley.
No, and I'm all for AI and the things that it can do. I think it's so helpful for resume building for people.
Yeah.
I truly believe it's helpful to a degree. It's more of like to the extent of what we need it
Right.
for and what we should be using it for. I
Right.
don't like we all need to still have a creative mindset. We all
Correct.
still, you know what I mean? Come up
Right.
with organic thoughts
Mhm.
and brainstorming and networking with people and community. Community is like, I'm
Yep.
so about like community. That's why I always do wedding shows and things like
Yep.
that. So I can go chat with my other vendors and meet couples and see what's happening in the wedding world. So I'm with you. I'm excited that there is such a thing as AI, but just being cognizant of how far we should really take it.
Yeah, I don't think we should be using it for the needless, mindless things that a lot of us use it for. I haven't done enough research on it. I hear it's really, really bad for the environment, which is not good. But we don't want to go down
I
that
haven't
rabbit hole
done that.
either.
Well,
But do you see people trying to use it for planning purposes? Do you foresee it taking away
I
from
haven't seen
that?
that yet. I did see it was so funny. I actually asked her about this, so that's why I'm mentioning it now. But there was someone that I saw. Do a shared drive with my couples, so that at any time, especially with my planning couples, that if I get anything, it goes into our shared drive. They can see
Mhm.
it. They have it. Anything with timeline. Well, there was one I saw. They dropped in something. It was just like a planning worksheet, and I was like,
Mhm.
well, wait a minute. Like, I'm the worksheet, I'm the timeline. You know, like I at
Right.
first was just like, oh wow, I've never seen that before. I didn't really like
Right.
feel any way about it, but I just kind of was caught off guard. And I was like, honestly, this is great though. This is a good tool.
Mhm.
I already have a timeline in there and when things need to get
Right.
done but some just like to have all the things. Like this was like sometimes I have couples that do a little bit of some things on their own, like their own signage, their own paper products, like invites to save the dates. So for them it was like this is when my invites need to go out. Even though I've told them
Mhm.
because I'm not a planner for that. They're like, I don't
Yeah.
want it was almost sweet. They're like, I don't want Ashley to have to tell me that. I didn't hire her for that. I hired her to do my tasting with me and my design and things
Mhm.
like that. So I honestly it was really sweet, but I'm starting to see that is becoming a thing, like an AI generated timeline for like the
Yeah.
things that they need to focus on, which I think
Yep.
is great. It really is. But I don't know if it'll ever take over. This is me speaking now, but I don't know if it'll ever take over just because um, the actual communication that needs to happen between
Right.
vendors, the actual
Right.
negotiation between
Mhm.
person to person, like, that's
Yep.
what a lot of people hire me for.
Yep.
Like, I just had a couple I think we talked about this the last podcast, who was like, "This is my budget, I cannot go over it." And people will say, "Oh, their budget's too low, they can't afford a planner, they can't afford a coordinator."
Right.
They
Priorities.
hired they literally hired me alone just to negotiate for them because
Yep.
they just don't wanna do it. So I'm the one that's like, "Oh, let's take" I know what you can take out of a package, whether that be
Yep.
venue, catering,
Mhm.
photography, video I know what we can manipulate. I can say, "Hey, what makes sense for you?" And some vendors are like, "I'm not negotiating, I'm not bartering."
Right.
I respect that 100%, but in our economy right now, it really is all about customization and flexibility.
I used to be that vendor that was like, my packages are my packages, they're not negotiable, but I have also eased up on that because everyone is just their needs are so different right now. There's no way for me to price everyone with a pre-planned, pre-priced package. There's no way. Everyone's
It's
needs and wants are
impossible.
so different. I got an inquiry this week for a huge big ballroom wedding, and then I got one for a backyard wedding with 15 people.
I love it.
Like,
That's
in the
amazing.
same
Yeah.
week. there's just so I'm doing customized packages now. We'll talk it out. What do you need? What do you don't need? I am not, so any brides or grooms listening, what I am not going to do is say, what is your budget? And then I'll give you a price.
Right.
I have been burned myself as a customer and a client. I got burned by a website company years ago. They asked me what on the website contact form, you had to put in a number, but like they chose the numbers.
Mm.
So like I just stuck in like the number that I was willing to do. And then they were like, cool, here's your contract. And I'm like, wait, we got to discuss like what we're going to do here. And they were like, nope, you said your budget's this, we can do it for that. And I'm like, what if I would have put another number?
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know
Then
what I
it
mean?
would
Like, I
be a
just felt like
different
it. Yeah. I felt
amount.
like
Like it was a
I
little
didn't like it.
shady
Yeah, I didn't
biz.
like it. So I'm not asking people what their budget is. I know a lot of photographers on websites will say, what is your budget? That gives me the ick
Right.
personally for me to do it. So I'm not asking budget. You tell me how many people you're going to have. You know, like this, are you doing a ceremony? Are you going to want me there for dinner? Are you doing a cake cutting? Are you doing a first dance? Because some people will have 15 people, but they'll still cut cake. They'll still do a first dance. And then I'll take off. Like, are you gonna have a bridal party? Because if I don't have a bridal party to photograph, that's less photos I'm gonna take, less photos I'm gonna process. So I don't need to charge for that.
Right.
There's no,
I'm
you know,
getting
there's no way to know.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm getting a lot of couples that are like, they want great photography, but they're like, I don't need a billion photos of us getting ready and a billion
Right?
photo of us during the day
That's
and a
going away.
billion photings for reception. They're like,
Yep.
I just want 6 hours of coverage, which a
Yep.
lot of photographers don't have that. So I'm having to be like,
Right.
they really only want you for 6 hours. I had somebody say like 3 hours, and I don't know if you can really get anything done. That would be like an elopement
Yeah.
package.
So that's what we used to do. You and I actually, that's how we met during COVID.
Literally the elopement
Trauma
package. I
bonding.
called Hannah and I
Remember?
was like, "You
She's
want to
like,
do this?"
you please. And I barely know Ashley at this point. She's like, build me an elopement package.
I'm like, "Do it
What?
please for me." Yes.
We are
You're
in
like,
the
"I don't know
middle of
you,
a
lady."
pandemic.
Oh yeah,
But
COVID.
so for 3 hours, what used to happen is that people would try to get you to, and it's a reason that I did not negotiate packages prior because I had made the mistake of doing it. And then people were trying to shove 8 to 10 hours worth of photos into 3 hours to save money. And it's
Yeah,
just, me, and you're the same. Like, I'm such a yes, I can do it girl.
I do.
And then I was dead after 3 hours, and I felt like I had just done a 12-hour wedding day in 3 hours, and it just didn't work. But people don't have that mind frame anymore. Let's do 3 hours, but what are we gonna get in 3 hours? Because 'Cause I'm actually doing one with a non-traditional couple that's traveling in destination wedding, but they're having, like, 10 people.
That's awesome. I love that.
Ceremony, and then we're going into dinner, and then they're gonna, like, cut a little cake and then maybe do a first dance. They haven't even decided, and then I'm out because 'cause they're not doing anything except for eating after that. So, you don't I see you don't get details. You don't get, like, the dress hanging, the shoes, the rings, the all that kinda stuff, but,
No. Yeah.
I still always try to get, like, rings, bouquet if you have one, invitation, just so you have that memory. They're not even sending invitations. I was like, "Well, then I don't." They're just telling people where to
There's no
go.
point for details.
Nope. So I'm going to show up right before the ceremony, like a half hour before, because she wants me to get like people mingling, like arriving, hugging, getting their seats, things like that. All the
Right.
traditional ceremony things they're still having. No bridal party. So afterwards, we're going to go immediately into family formals. There's only 10 people. So everyone's going to get to be a part of family formals in any kind of groupings. Because again, despite that review,
You are very I don't mean to toot Hannah's horn, and I say this, but I always preface it before I say anything. But like, you are one of the fastest photographers with family formals. Like, I'm
I'm so mad
usually
about this review.
I know, you're like, "Rage." Well,
Yeah.
it's so funny because I have someone that runs all, like, my marketing and everything for Instagram, and they called me before they uploaded a video, and they're like, "Hey, what's the one thing that you're like, ah," like, on the wedding day? And I'm like, family formals,
Hmm.
depending on who I'm with, because I'm like, that
Hmm.
can really, really throw off a timeline. And the pause when DJs announce. Sometimes I'm, like, literally, like and I love all my DJs, I joke with them about this, but, like, I have the catering staff, like, breathing down my neck, like, "Why haven't they announced? What is going on? They've been lined up in this hallway now for 10 minutes, like, we need to get these people in here, we need to get service started," and so, it's never me, it's always me relaying information to the next vendor that, like,
Yeah.
"We need to get moving here."
Yeah.
And because I have a catering background, I also am very aware of that.
Yeah.
But I'm always like laughing because I'm like texting the DJs like, okay, so are we gonna get on the microphone yet? Are we moving? Now some are just like
Right.
lightning speed. And
Right.
I don't have that issue. But those are the 2 times that I find myself
Right.
being like, okay, we gotta, and I'm like the nicest planner when it comes to those things. I'm never gonna be like, you gotta do this. I'm just like, hey, we
No.
might want to
Yeah.
just,
Right.
do it now, so
Right.
that we can get the party started. It just, people don't understand if they don't understand catering. Even if you run 30 minutes behind, that
Mhm.
medium steak has now
Yep.
gone medium well.
Yep.
And this client has paid $100 per plate,
Yep.
and now it has sacrificed the food
Yep.
because we were dilly-dallying during announcements.
That's such a great point. Such a great point. But
So, I'm trying to get everybody to see it's not because like, "Oh, Ashley just wants it to stick to the timeline."
right.
No, it's really just so that what the client paid for is
Right.
actually happening,
Right.
and what they planned.
But you're not waiting on me for family formals because I
I'm
am
never
just
No. It's more like I'm talking about as vendors as wholes.
no,
Like,
I
I
know.
never
I
when
know.
I'm with Hannah, I don't have to worry. I actually don't even come I don't when family formals are going on, I'm nowhere near where Hannah is.
No.
I'm actually
And
in the venue.
my assistants very much because I bring an assistant second shooter to every wedding. They very much are powering family formals for me to make sure that the next group on the list is on deck behind me so that
Right.
there's never a lag. But the elopement that I was talking about that I'm doing this summer, I'm doing it by myself, but it's also 10 people.
Yeah, I don't
So
think you need this. That
no,
would be crazy.
no,
Yeah.
it would be crazy. But then we're gonna go into bridegroom formals. We're gonna go into dinner. They're gonna cut their cake immediately, do their dance, and then I'm out of there. So that's
Right.
kind of what you get with 3 hours. You don't get a lot
It's
of the fluff.
elopement. Yeah.
But two things. Back to your other story. Those DJs might be lagging because the photographer is still setting up.
Which that's why I never just
I'm
say it's the
guilty of
DJs.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes the DJs come up to me and you have to understand it's not a matter of like you said, anyone's fault. If you're new
Mm-mm.
to weddings, sometimes I am hitting the door and the DJ's like, okay, are you ready for announcements?
Right. And you're like, I need
Or
to
the party
yeah.
bus is here. And I'm like, I know the party bus is here. I followed it in. I know
I
it's here,
just
but
took the
I
pictures. Yeah.
also have just arrived. So I need a minute to set up. I've had DJs, it hasn't happened in a long time, that will not wait. And that's where experience comes in because now I don't have all the lighting that I need. And he's starting to announce, even though I said I needed a minute, because maybe the planner is like, the party bus was already 15 minutes late. We have got to get going. And the DJ's like, well, the planner said. And
Yeah.
so I don't
And that's
know.
not a good planner because you need to make sure your photographer's ready, your
Right.
video's
I
ready,
don't
your
know, but
DJ's
I
ready.
am
Yeah.
am putting one flash on my camera and setting it up for that one light and carrying on, and the couple will never know difference. It hasn't happened in a long time, but it does. But the DJs that we all work with a lot, they know I'll give them a thumbs up. They also know I'm not going to drag my feet. Like, we are setting up fast. So if I'm like, please wait, I need a minute, it's going to be just a minute. It's not going to be 10 minutes. But that might
Right.
be why they're lagging,
Oh yeah.
which I know you
It's
know. I'm just discussing it because we're on the podcast.
yeah, no. And people definitely need to know that because I'm sure when people are doom scrolling through social media, they're like, "Oh, I don't understand." It really is a train moving
Yeah.
with multiple people on that train, making sure we're
Yeah.
all together and staying in line. Because at the end of the day, the couple paid for a product, and we need to make sure all of our
Yep.
products are staying true to what it
Yep.
was, true to what they
Yep.
purchased. So it really is just like an evolving train, I guess I could say. It is just
It
like a
is.
day that you just have to keep a hold
Yeah.
on. Talking about venues, so I
Mm.
actually texted Hannah and I was like, A, we have to podcast. B, because I think we get until this is our time, and you can correct me if you're wrong, but this is my time where I'm like organizing my house,
Mhm.
organizing my files, I'm making sure
Mhm.
all my meetings are in place because once
Updating my
wedding season,
website.
updating my website, which I'm getting ready to do, I'm getting ready to rebrand. We're doing all of these back end things. So then we
Mhm.
start to
Get off task.
forget, get off task
Mhm.
100%, before wedding season hits. So, and then I said, B, I was watching another planner that I follow. They're on the West Coast.
Mhm.
And she doesn't do a podcast or anything. She just got on there and she's like, okay, venting session. And I was like, oh gosh, I'm listening to this. And she said, vendors are not too expensive. Your venue is. And I was like,
Ooh.
I've known this and it's been in my brain, but I guess
Right.
I just never fully opened my head to be like,
Yeah.
oh, wow, that's what's happening.
Right.
Because I find myself like, oh, do I need to decrease my pricing? Even though I haven't changed my pricing since before COVID. And I know a lot of vendors raised it during COVID because
Right.
of that,
Yep.
but then haven't touched their
Right.
pricing since that
Yep.
time. And I'm like, she is exactly right. Because I'm literally seeing it with a couple of clients I just did initial calls with. I'm like a fraction of what their venue,
Yeah.
like a literal dot on the map compared to either
Yeah.
other vendors they've hired or the venue. And I know I get it. It's just like we talked about this, like when you're doing a budget, you're like, how much money do I have to spend? If your venue
Yep.
takes up 90% of your budget,
Yeah.
you have 10% to work with for your vendors.
Yeah.
And that
Which is
is,
sucks. Like
it's so bad because
there's no
you
other
then
way to
have
say
to
it. Yeah.
sacrifice. Yeah, you have to sacrifice what photographer you have, what video you have,
Yep.
if you're even gonna have a day of coordinator. And I sat there and thought, oh gosh, that's bad. And I get venue costs and I get all of these things. They have a much
Yeah.
bigger business to run, but these venues need to
Mhm.
really come back to planet
See,
Earth.
I don't know anything about that. I do know that there's a few venues local to me that kind of contract unofficially off the record with photographers, florists, stuff like that, for them to offer lower rates at
Which
their
is crazy.
venue, which
Yeah.
we've talked about, so that they can charge more.
Which is
Or not so that they can
like
charge more, so that their couples can afford them. And then and you can
plus, yeah.
see the shift, and I've talked to a few photographers that have kinda got sucked into that vortex, and it feels great at first,
Mhm.
but then when you offer a discount every single wedding, every single weekend, it eventually that money flow catches up to you. So you see on their website the same photographer that for, like, a year, year and a half is just, like, constantly there at that venue, and then all of a sudden, poof, they're gone, and the next person who's willing to offer a discount comes in.
Right.
Which is fine if that's the business strategy. It's just not something I've ever wanted to participate in.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like I have great partnerships with the venues that I'm close with and I love
Yeah.
working at, but they've never asked me to like discount
Yeah.
or anything like
Yeah.
that. But yeah, that's what we're running
Mhm.
into now, that venues are just so outrageous that everyone else is scrambling. All the
Yeah.
couples are scrambling to find
Yeah.
vendors within their budget. And there is no other solution other than venues changing their pricing, which I have
Yeah.
noticed some venues offering discounts,
Mhm.
changing pricing because they're realizing, oh, whoa,
Yeah.
depending on what region they're in, what market they're in, even the city. Like I've noticed that the pricing is
Yeah.
going down because people are like, I just literally cannot afford, like their numbers are down.
There's such a shift in everything, and I don't even know if we'll still be podcasting in time to see if it actually happens, but I've
We're gonna be doing this till
noticed
we're 90.
'cause,
Am I gonna live
I
that
think you're
long?
right about COVID. I have friends who were nurses who were making, like, $180 an hour. So they had, like,
Which is
500 people
wild.
at their weddings because they could
Yeah.
afford to do it. So I think that money flow was, like, flowing for some people, and it gave people a false sense of security in their business. But I have had more backyard wedding, tent wedding requests in the last couple of years than ever. So I'm
Right.
wondering, now that that's becoming popular and more people, if tent prices will now go up. Venue
Yeah.
prices will come back down, tent prices, catering, and things for those events will go up. So then it'll flop again, and people will stop having backyard weddings and stop having tent weddings because it will become too expensive because it got popular at the time. Do you see what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, such
So
a
you're gonna laugh because it literally has. You know how I stay up on like rental companies and
yeah,
everything because I have to do all that? I
yeah,
just got the 2026 guide for a local, it's not local, but like
yeah.
near, that everyone uses. Double, double in pricing, double,
Double.
double, double.
Well, see, I predicted the future and I didn't even know it.
Oh yeah, like I got a couch price. So lounge sets are becoming really popular right now.
Yes.
And a couch rental used to be like $400. Makes sense, right? Because couches are usually a couple $1,000s. After a
Yeah.
couple times rented, you made your money back, blah, blah, blah. Here we are. Ding, ding. The couch rental was like over $1,000. And
Then
it
buy
wasn't
your
like,
own couch.
so I literally was talking to the client. I was like, I know you probably don't want to do this because then you have random furniture, but
Yeah.
like it's cheaper to actually purchase your little cute lounge
A
set
little settee
than it
couch.
is going to be renting it with the delivery and the insurance fee if it gets ruined. I just was like mind blown. I was like almost almost 4 grand for 2 couches, and we're not talking like big daddy couches. We're talking
Mm. Like the
couches,
little cute ones, yeah.
cute couches with 4 chairs, $4,000.
Oh,
Like
I predicted this as future. It's already happening apparently. See, this is the stuff I don't get to know unless I talk to Ashley.
you're like, "What?"
But I will say that clients are
Yes,
becoming a lot more vocal about people's prices because they've been emailing me. And usually,
right,
like in the past, they'd be like, "How much does this videographer cost?" I'm like, "I have no idea," because you and I kind of talk pricing because we're closer now and we're friends. But like for the most part, I don't believe in discussing pricing and money with people and businesses and whatnot. So when
right.
people would ask me, "Do you know how much this video guy costs? Do you know how much this DJ costs?" I'm like, "I don't." Like I know people say they're affordable, or I know people say that, they're more higher budget, but I don't know. I have had multiple clients in the last 6 months. Like, I recommend this person, and they email me back and they're like, so and so was really great, but do you know they're over double what you are? And I'm like, what?
You're like, "Yeah, no, I can't." Yes, that's crazy.
And I'm like, I don't know if if it's the correct business strategy to recommend someone who is more than double what I cost. Like, that seems like I should be recommending people that are kinda in the same budget as what I sit in, if that makes sense. But how do I know?
It's true. Well, I almost know everybody's pricing now, which is crazy
I know you do.
because I'm doing so much planning now. So, like, I know everyone's pricing
But
in
she
our
doesn't tell
region.
me even when I ask people. She would have been a great
I
healthcare
don't.
worker because she keeps secrets like Fort
HIPAA.
Knox, as she should.
It's HIPAA for weddings. No.
Yeah.
No, I know a lot of Pittsburgh pricing too, which is great. So, like, I'm literally photographers is hard because there's actually 10,000,000.
Yeah.
Um, and there is. I'm like, they're like, "This is my photographer," and I'm like,
I don't know who
"Who?"
that is.
Like, I
I
don't know.
know.
Like,
I
and
know.
not that it just is like a lot of photographers are popping up right now, especially in the city.
Yeah.
And so I'm still learning like all the new vendors that
Yeah.
are coming onto the scene. But yeah, it is a situation for sure. And I always tell everyone I am never ever going to have anyone on my vendor list that I myself wouldn't purchase.
Right.
So
And that's
if
where
I'm
I'm
not
at.
purchasing you, I'm not putting you on my and I love you, I love your work, but like
Mhm.
I also know my clients even like and I'm not luxury weddings, like, I do a
Right.
couple luxury weddings, but,
Right.
like, I don't like to pinhold myself.
Right.
I like all weddings, backyard
Same.
to tent to home residence
Right.
to
Right.
nemacolin to, whatever. I'm about all of them, but,
Yep.
yeah, I'm just not that's I don't wanna stick myself in a niche and
Right.
not be able to get out of it.
Right. And I actually so I've mentor behind the scenes and I have two people, two new photog one's not a new photographer, she's been a photographer for a while. Another new photographer that I have been mentoring behind the scenes, and I always do like a initial like onboarding meeting that's free so that you can ask questions as much as you can fit in an hour. And that way we can see if we're a good fit. One of them asked me, she's like, "Do you consider yourself a luxury photographer?" And I was like, "Hmm." I said, I consider the experience, which I hate that word now. We
I
all
know,
know it's
we
like the
hate
new
it.
buzzword.
Yes.
It triggers me because I've used it for years, but like the experience that I give my clients, I would consider luxury. But I will photograph any wedding with any
Yes.
human being
Yes.
if they want me to.
Oh, yeah.
It does not matter. I don't like
Same.
high-end weddings, backyard wedding. I've done backyard weddings with no tent. Like we were just under the sun.
Yeah, and I love that. I think that's so pretty.
I don't care. No, I don't consider myself a luxury wedding photographer. I hate that term actually. Like, what does
I do
that mean?
too. Yeah, I'm not into that. And that just means that we are 2 vendors that are very much like we love all weddings and
Right,
all things and,
right,
it, for us it's not like we're putting
right,
ourselves in a market and sticking there.
right,
We're like we like it all. That's how I am. I love all weddings though, even no matter the budget. Like a pizza
right,
bar with a couple candles on the table, absolutely.
right.
Like I'm here for it.
Yep,
High centerpieces with
right,
huge floral
right.
swags in the ceiling, love it.
Yep. And if you look at my website, I have always made it a point of sharing everyone. Everyone who wants to be on my website, everyone who wants to be on my blog, everyone who wants to be on my social media, which is almost everyone. I've only had a handful of couples over the years that needed to keep things private for certain reasons, foster kids, I had one undercover police officer that was up here getting married and was like, I cannot have anyone see my face. So I do not like post those people, but for the most part, everyone ends up on my website because why wouldn't they? If I photograph
Right.
their wedding, they deserve to be seen. So if you go on my website, you're going to see a whole variety of weddings, a whole variety of people, all in love, all getting married. And that's the point.
That is literally the point.
That's the
Boom.
point. Boom.
They don't do that anymore, but I do.
Is mic drop not a thing anymore?
I don't know. I really don't know. I really
Let's ask Google. Not AI. Let's ask
ask
Google.
Google.
Isn't Google just AI? I don't understand what I'm supposed to be using and what I'm not supposed to be using. Someone tell me.
I really want to go to the special event conference this year. I used to go a lot and it's super fun.
Let's go
And
together.
I know we should.
Do photographers
I
go?
think it's in no, it's everybody. It's everybody in the wedding world. It's called the Special Event Conference. I'm like
Let's
doing a
do it.
shout out. No, it is. It's only like during the week, so it's not like a
Okay.
weekend situation. It's only like
Okay.
3 days. You don't have to go every day. And they have a huge showroom where like vendors actually can come out. It's like linen companies, rental companies, but then you also get to network with vendors from all over the country. Like I actually met the person that ran the St. Louis wedding venue in the zoo, and people don't know that the St. Louis zoo is actually free to enter, which is
What?
so cool. Oh yeah, free, just straight free. And then you can actually have your weddings there. That costs money. But she ran the whole wedding like venue there. And I would have never met
Wow.
her and I got to like talk to her about her region and like what they do there.
That's fun.
Oh, it was the best experience, and then you really got to know what was going on in the wedding world, which was right before COVID. So it was actually kind of cool that I got to go,
Let's
because it
go.
was
What's it
I would love
called?
to go now. It's called the Special Event Conference, slash Cater Source. It linked with Cater Source. So, it's super
Looking it
fun.
up.
It's probably coming up. I think it's in February. It's like, here we are. We're here.
We probably missed it. March, we're missing it. It's March 2nd through the 5th
We're not
in
missing it.
Los
It's a month
Angeles.
away. That's gonna be a good conference because nobody knows this, but West Coast weddings are actually about 5 years ahead of us. So
Always,
they're
yeah.
doing things that we are not actually have, a couple that their family member got married in LA, and she's like, "Oh, hey, does my florist do this?" And I was like, "That's such a West Coast thing,"
Yeah.
that when she told me what they did, and I was like, "We're just not there yet." I hope to like, I actually
Mhm.
love going out there and seeing what they're doing out there because I know it's coming our way, but isn't that funny? It takes that long. It probably
Yeah.
is less now, less time
Right.
because of social media.
Well, we also live in a bubble too, because I remember years and years and years ago when my now sister-in-law, she went to college about 5 hours south of us. And like new songs would come out on the radio, and she'd be like, "Did you hear this yet?" And I'm like, "No, it has like made its way up here yet." Like we're always like a step behind where we live in
We
everything,
are.
I feel like.
Yes.
And lay flat detail pictures are out. Do you know about this?
Yeah, yeah. They're not I don't have a lot of people even talking about it
No,
anymore.
you just kind of like throw all the stuff in a
In a
spot. No,
pile.
seriously, like photographers are making videos about it and they're like, oh, back in the day, and they're like making sure every corner is a 90-degree angle and everything's perfect. And they're like photographers today and they just take like the invitation and the shoes and they just drop it. And however it
Stop.
falls, that's the detail photo.
I love it because that makes sense because one of the galleries I just got back from my December wedding, which was a photographer that's super trendy in Pittsburgh. I like love her. I'll shout her out, Rachel Weehan. She's like the
Yeah,
best. I love
I
her.
saw that wedding. It was pretty.
It was similar. But it was on a chair and I was like, "Ah," and I was like, "This is not like shooting down. This is shooting real life happen.
Yeah.
Toss him on the chair."
Yeah.
I kind of loved it. It was super cool.
Yeah, one of my assistants, Lacey, she's really good at seeing that kind of stuff when she's with me, and she'll just like, I mean, you've seen it. She'll like drape the veil on the chair where the bride's going to be getting ready, and she'll set the shoes there in the bouquet and kind of just like throw it where we're going to need it, but then it
Yeah.
ends up as a prop in the background the whole time the bride's getting ready, and then she always snaps a picture for me.
I love Lacey.
I know, we do. She needs
Lacey's
her own
great.
business. So, by the way, they do not say mic drop, and I actually knew this. They say period for
Sorry, it's
mic.
period, but I can't get on board
Yeah,
with that yet. I feel like I feel awkward when
yeah.
I say it, but I know a lot of people that are period, and I'm like,
Period.
"Oh, cool," but I'm
And
like,
that's for,
"Not
like,
on
mic
mine."
drop. So I actually did know that because I had foreign exchange students from 2021 to 2022, and they were the first ones I had heard, and they were always, like, with their hand, like, "Period."
Period.
That's what they always did. So I did know that, I just didn't realize that
I'm
that's
too
what we need to
awkward
say
to say
now
that. Yeah, but I'll
because
give
we're
it a try.
old
I'll give it a
millennial.
We're not even the young millennials, we're the elder millennials.
We're the old ones. but we are veterans and
Back
we
in
know
my
the
day.
things.
Yeah. No, it's true. Honestly, we are at an advantage because we've seen so much. I think
So
that's why
much.
I'm so busy compared to like some of my competitors that are like super young, who I recommend, honestly,
Right.
because I was there one time and I was like, please, somebody
Yeah.
recommend me, anybody. Um, I think that's wise because I think that it's like I'm the sister now. I told you I'm not the mom
Yeah.
yet. I'm the
We're
older
close.
sister. So
Yeah.
I'm
We're
creeping my way up
creeping.
the line, which is scary enough.
So speaking of planners, if you have any planners locally that you were recommending, I apparently do not know about them because I feel like all the planners that I used to recommend, except for you, have since retired or gone out of business and are not doing this anymore. I need someone because you are heavily booked.
Yes. Well, I am hiring
Oh,
someone. So this is
Lord, here
great news.
we should do a little I am not taking any more weddings on this year. Signed, Ashley. Fast forward to
You
now,
knew it
I'm
was going to
hiring
happen.
someone so that we can book
Um,
more weddings.
you know why? It's because I
You can't
I
say no
love
to
my brand.
anyone.
No, I can't. Well, and I love my brand. I love what I've created. It's really it comes off of a Disney foundation, which I hate to say that, but it's true. I learned customer service from there.
Mhm,
And the people that I work with and surround myself with are very strong in customer service.
mhm,
And that has gone by the wayside. Like it has. And
yeah,
now I'm like, no, it's not going by the wayside with my business.
mhm,
Like it is going to still be customer service oriented and I'm on the hunt for that person. And I was like doing interviews last week and I was like so excited that I met someone that was like, "Oh my gosh, she's like me but with blonde hair." Like, you know what I mean? I was like, "Oh my god." I was like so excited
yeah,
because you will find those people. And then I'm like, "Okay, I feel comfortable booking weddings and knowing they literally just
yeah,
have me." And I'm like that too with any of my previous weddings. They've had people very similar to me. My team is very much like me and will go above and beyond. Like my one that we couldn't get lights plugged in because the extension cords weren't long enough. And she went to 5 different stores and bought 20 different extension cords
oh my
with
god.
3 different plugs. I mean, that's how intense we are. We are going to try everything. It may not work out, but we are going to give it our
Oh,
all.
I have a story about Ashley, and I can't remember what you did. So Ashley was driving around at one wedding. I think it was a wedding. I don't remember. And you just called me and I'm like, hello? Because I just arrived. I'm unpacking. Here, I got my phone like this. I'm like, hello? What's wrong? And you're like, do you know the dollar store doesn't carry bras? Do you remember this? And I'm like, do you not have a bra? And she's like, no, the dress doesn't fit right. It was altered. Something was wrong with the bride's dress and it didn't fit correctly and it wasn't touching her. Do you remember this? And you're like, I need something to stuff the top and the dollar store doesn't have bras. And I forget what did you end up using to stuff the top of her dress? It was something unorthodox and it worked. And I can't remember what it was. Do you remember
I
that?
don't know. No, I do not remember this at all. But also,
I
my
have
air quality,
videos of you with your hands down her top. I'm gonna have
which
to
is like
send it
always
to
a
you.
thing. I tell everyone, I was like, just be prepared. I'm probably going to have to shove my hand somewhere at some point because there's things
Yeah.
that just happen.
Yeah.
Or whether it's getting a stain out of your dress or whatever it
Yeah.
is. I know. There's so many times that this happens that for
She doesn't even
me,
remember it. I'm gonna pull the video and we'll report back next podcast what it was because you cut something up and you stuffed it into her dress basically so that when she like leaned over or danced, the dress didn't come off her chest. That was the problem. It was not sitting and it was
wait,
not tight.
was it our shoot and I had to go to the store and run and get like it was literally like soles, like shoe
Yes, it was the
insoles.
styled shoe. It was the styled shoe because it wasn't her dress. Yes, that's what it was.
Yes, and we had to fill
Okay.
it so that when she
Yeah.
was like leaning over and kissing or when he
Yes,
was
that's
dipping
exactly
her.
what it was. Oh god, they're fabulous. Can we photograph them again? They are
Yeah, they were
fabulous.
great. I know. They're probably
I'm
married
trying
now. They had their wedding
They did.
6 months after we shot
I
them.
stalked them big time. They got married in October.
Aw.
Her hair was so fabulous. I was so jealous of that photographer. Total FOMO, and I'd only ever met them once. I was like, "Ah, your photographer is so lucky." I even put them on my website because they're just fabulous human
Oh,
beings
yeah,
to
they were
photograph.
great.
What else was I gonna say? I don't remember. There was something about buying that I always end up under the dresses on, like, sweaty wedding days because like, the
Right.
lining of the dress will, like, start
Get
riding
caught.
up and it wrinkles, and my brides are always like, "I'm so sorry, but, like, can you fix this?" And I'm like, "If you don't care," and they're like, "I'm so sweaty." I'm like, "Girl, I was a nurse." And I'm just all up under their dresses, pulling layer after
Same.
layer
Yep,
after layer. It does not bother me. That is just part of the job.
it is. That's our
It is.
lives. To make sure the photos happen, to make sure the dress looks good. I can't tell you how many times before I'm about to send someone down the aisle, they're like, "Okay, anything?" And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Everything
Yeah.
looks great. It's just like,
Yeah.
did this fall out? My hair
Yeah.
is drooping," like, whatever it is.
Yep.
We're
Yeah.
just
I have been having a heck of a time with boutonnieres
I
lately.
know. You know why? It's because
What's happening? Because I've had to fix and adjust, and it just reminded me because I'm in men's faces, and men are typically a lot like, "Whoa, what?" And I'm like, I just have to fix this flower. I'm sorry." But I'm, like, real close to them fixing boutonnieres, but I have fixed more in boutonnieres, and it's the magnets, I think. The magnets are not working.
yeah, magnet, I never recommend a magnet boutonniere.
No.
Also, just the heads of flowers are so big
Yeah.
now that they just are, like,
Yeah.
tilting. I just honestly I think the pocket boutonniere should just be it.
Yeah, I love those. I don't get those very often where they slide in
They just
to the
slide
pocket.
in. The problem is people don't love, like, if it's like, it literally looks like a floral arrangement. So I get why people
Right.
don't like them. Honestly, I have a lot of weddings that are nixing
The boutonnieres.
the boutonnieres. Yeah,
That's fair. All right.
yeah. Well, we don't have
That
a
is
listener
that.
question, do we?
No, not today.
Not today. Maybe next
Probably because I
time.
didn't post.
Yeah, we didn't do that. We're really on it these days, I'm telling you.
Next time. I'm like we were honest when Ashley said I texted Hannah and said we need to do the podcast.
We do. We
We
did,
do.
and we did it.
We did it. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening to another episode of What in the Wedding. You can find us currently on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and YouTube.
Please remember to follow, subscribe, and leave us all those stars so we start following. I completely
We'll change
wiki
it.
womp. Okay. Please remember to follow/subscribe and leave us all those stars so we start showing up as a recommended podcast and suggestion for our new listeners. If you have any topic suggestions, questions, news stories, you want to hear us just talk about anything in general, reach out to us on Instagram or just email us at whatinthewedding@gmail.com. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Tasha's like, bye.